Okay, so here's what's going to happen now. We're going to have a town hall for our Hall of Fame winners. And when they walk back, have you ever watched the presidential, not town hall, State of the Union, sorry. Have you ever watched the president when he came in for a State of the Union, everybody stood up and cheered? That's what we're going to do. So if you know how to whistle, do it. But we want to treat them like rock stars. That's what this is all about. So when we give the signal, make sure you make as much noise of appreciation as you can. Ready? Yes? Okay. Peggy?
I was
so excited I dropped the microphone. And I can't find it. This is pretty typical.
Use the podium microphone, Carolyn.
Where is it?
You also dropped the speaker.
Oh, okay. Can you hear me? So I can't wait to hear from the Hall of Famers to find out how they felt being rock stars a minute ago, but I'll talk to them about that. So welcome everyone to our Hall of Fame luncheon. The Hall of Fame, I am so excited at every Hall of Fame because it represents everything Witte has worked for 30 years. And what we've worked for is to shout to the world about the amazing women and their contributions to technology, because before we started the Hall of Fame in 1996, next year will be our 25th anniversary, there were so many brilliant, amazing women who were basically anonymous outside of their organization, and we wanted to change that. And one of the reasons they were anonymous was because in the 80s and 90s, when there was a new technology breakthrough and the press came to the company to learn more about it, did they send out a woman to discuss it? No. They sent out a man. And the perception when I started Witte, excuse me, was that women aren't, I can't tell you how many times people said, oh, women don't do technology, only men do, because that's all they read about, that's all they saw on TV, that's all they read about in the newspaper. So I was determined to change it because I was meeting the women who were working in those companies, and I knew how spectacular they were. So you'll be learning so much more and be so inspired about this year's group of inductees. You're amazing, all of you. And I hope you have a wonderful experience at Witte, and my time is up. Thank you.
And now would you please welcome our hosts for this afternoon, Cindy Dulay and A.J. Thomas.
But first.
And Peggy Kilburn.
But first, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Peggy Kilburn. I'm the Managing Director for the Hall of Fame Awards, and it is my pleasure to welcome you here today to the 24th Annual Women in Technology Hall of Fame induction ceremony. As Carolyn said, Witte's Hall of Fame was established in 1996 to honor and promote the outstanding contributions that women make to the scientific and technological communities that improve and evolve our society. And the 5 women that we are saluting today are at the forefront of this evolution. They're exceptional examples of women who have made a powerful difference in the fields of science and technology. Without a forum like the Witte Hall of Fame, women we need to inspire us and the generations to come would get lost in the annals of time and history. You've probably noticed the inspiring details on the screens, paying tribute to the 120 alumnae who have entered the Hall of Fame since 1996. These women set a high benchmark, and our 2019 inductees add substantially to their outstanding list of achievements. And now, it's my pleasure to introduce our Masters of Ceremony for today, Cindy Dulay and AJ Thomas. Cindy and AJ, Cindy and AJ are founders of Mini Witte, an exciting new organization which sets out to inspire curiosity early on by bridging the gap between STAM leaders and K-8 students. More about this soon. Our Hall of Fame MCs.
It is an honor to be in the room with such powerful, exceptional women of science and technology. We're delighted to take part in the celebration of excellence with you. On behalf of Witte and Silicon Valley, we'd like to thank our friends, colleagues, and associates who have graciously traveled from all around the world to join us. On behalf of our honorees, past and present, as well as our sponsors, guests, and friends, we offer a special thanks to all of Witte's dynamic team for creating the Hall of Fame Awards and the Witte Summit every year. As you can imagine, producing an event of this magnitude is a daunting task and a tribute to your passion and dedication. We'd also like to thank each of you in this room today. All of you are helping to pave the way for future generations of scientists and technologists by helping to make this ceremony possible. And it's humbling and inspiring to be with you.
Members of the Hall of Fame are women who have made outstanding contributions based on one or more of the following criteria. First, having directly made an exceptional contribution to the advancement of science and technology. Second, facilitated and created programs that motivate young women to choose careers in science and technology. Third, they've also enabled and encouraged other scientific and technical women to advance in their careers. And last but not least, they have created scientific or technological innovations which promote environmental harmony, support humanitarian endeavors, and improve the human condition. You'll find the full biographical sketches of this year's honorees on the Witte website. We encourage you to visit that. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, we now begin the 2019 Witte Hall of Fame inductions.
Our first honoree is Julia Liuson. Julia was the first woman promoted to Corporate Vice President of Engineering at Microsoft. She leads the technical and business strategy, product development, and engineering teams for Microsoft Visual Studio, Visual Studio Code, .NET, and .NET Core Framework, and developer platform for Microsoft Azure. Let's watch this video to learn more about Julia Liuson.
Every woman knows Julia. She's the most successful technical woman that we all look up to.
Julia personifies a combination of deep passion for technology and being a human leader in the process.
Under her leadership, Visual Studio has grown to over 7 million people using it every month.
Julia has really played a central role in Microsoft's transition to supporting open source.
I had a chance to meet with a team of people under Julia Liuson, who runs our developer tools group. And they've done a phenomenal job of foundationally changing how that group builds products.
She's brought Microsoft back into the minds and hearts of developers across the industry.
I was born in Shanghai, and I moved to Beijing for elementary school and high school. I came to the United States, and I attended University of Washington directly. It was an incredible honor and very difficult journey to be able to attend as a student from China.
When I met Julia, she was saying, I'm here to help, to contribute, and to do whatever I can. I've really enjoyed watching as Julia has progressed in her career, leading up to where she is now.
And my mom actually had an engineering degree. So when I was growing up, there was never the notion that girl cannot go into STEM field. So she was a great role model for me. And today, I hope that I can be a role model for others.
She has advocated for women and inclusion in the industry again and again and again.
Her advice to all of us is like, move ahead, show your confidence, and demonstrate you can do it.
As soon as I entered the workforce, I started to hear this phrase of bamboo ceiling. While there's a lot of Asian engineers, they've never really cracked the ceiling of executive leadership.
She has created a culture within Developer Division that is oriented around inclusion, around diversity.
Yeah, I'm Brianna, and I'm 10 years old, and I started coding when I was 6.
That is so amazing. I wish every single girl started this early, just like you.
She's like a mystery because being able to juggle a corporate career so successful, right? And children at home, being a mom. And when you look at her social media, she's a big foodie, she loves to travel, and she's also got aging parents and taking care of them. So how is she able to do all that and make it so simple? That's the mystery.
It's kind of impossible to even describe what Julia's impact is on the women in the organization.
The technical achievements, the business achievements, the commitment to diversity and inclusion, to me, that makes her a great Hall of Famer.
From all of us, keep going and show us what's possible.
Here to introduce Julia to us is her Microsoft friend and colleague, Joy Chick.
Good afternoon. It is a great honor for me to introduce Julia Liuson. So I've known Julia for over 15 years. And when I joined Microsoft, she was one of the rare female leaders within Microsoft engineering. And someone that I look up to that hope my career will be one day. She was an effective mentor for me and still for many others across Microsoft. And over time, Julia and I became good friends. Julia is the first woman that Microsoft has promoted to Corporate Vice President of Engineering. So I am not surprised that her induction to this Women in Tech Hall of Fame. And if you don't know Julia, you may think she might be one of those stereotypical tiger mom to her son, Harry. But actually, Julia has always given Harry spaces to have his own successes as well as failure, because neither is the end. Both are just stepping stones to further growth and achievement. And this is how exactly that Julia runs her team as well, empowering them to make their own decisions, to learn from setbacks, so that they can be much successful in the long run. And on the personal side, Julia and I have bonded over time for our love for travel, and more importantly, for fashion. And sometimes we think we're the best dressed in many of the large meetings that we attended. I found Julia is very approachable, caring, principled, team empowering, and collaborative. And most importantly, she loves her family, her parents, her husband Ted, and her son Harry, which is more than anything. So please welcome this amazing woman, Julia Liuson, to be introduced to the Women in Technology Hall of Fame.
Incredible honor. I feel like I'm holding an Oscar here. So I'm here to represent Microsoft, but really I'm here to represent all of the immigrants and engineers who have been working in the tech industry for many years. Thinking back 30 years ago, my parents have sacrificed their life savings and sent me here to study, to attend college. And without the support and the love from friends and family, I couldn't have been here. I couldn't have made what I am today. Same thing, my husband has also been an incredible support for everything I do, and I couldn't possibly juggle my busy work schedule without him taking care of our son. And I also really want to thank all of the women who are Hall of Famers prior to me today. And it was them who have fought the hard battles and won a place for women in the tech field. I'm hoping that all of us today can continue to make even more progress for women in tech, because despite all the progress, women in tech is still a very small percentage. So let's work on even out the field for future generations. Thank you.
Well, our second honoree is Heather Hinton. She's got some fans. Heather Hinton is an IBM Distinguished Engineer and an IBM Master Inventor. She was recently awarded an IBM Corporate Patent Portfolio for her patent work in the area of single sign-on and identity federation, an area she helped create as one of the original authors of the cross-domain single sign-on functionality. Let's watch this video to learn more about Dr. Heather Hinton.
Every time I've done something that's made a difference, big or little, listening has always been a key part of the entire process. My name is Heather Hinton. I'm an IBM Distinguished Engineer and IBM Master Inventor, and I've been working in the computer security space since about 1989.
I've known you for almost 2 decades, and you've been a great inventor and contributor to all technology. This is well-deserved. Congratulations.
When we did SSO, we built something that did what they wanted, but wasn't necessarily extensible. I learned from that. My technology partner there said, we need a way so that I can sign in once, and then I can go to all of these other places inside. We built them something, and it was great, and it worked. And then they came back about 6 months later and they said, well, this is really great, but we're about to buy another company. We're looking at somewhere between 25 and 50 million people, and we need to have the same functionality for all of them as well. And we said, okay. It wasn't intended to work across these companies. And I think that was my first really big lesson in learning to sort of listen to what they were saying, but learning to ask the questions about sort of what's next. If we didn't pay attention to what was going to happen next, we would build something that would only work in a limited use case. We needed it to be broader. We commandeered an executive level office, which meant it was really big. We covered all of the walls in whiteboards, and remember, this is 18 years ago, 17 years ago. This is before design thinking. This is before everybody got, a bazillion different colored Post-its that they could draw with. So we built this, and this was what was part of the basics of what's now called federated single sign-on or just sign-on. So IBM has this really cool program called the Corporate Service Corps. It's kind of like technology meets the Peace Corps. I went to Da Nang, Vietnam. I worked with a university where they had a satellite campus that was only 300 kilometers away, but because of the roads, that meant a minimum of 8 hours driving if you were lucky. We had to figure out How could we really borrow from the business continuity and the disaster recovery techniques and use that just to make them do their basic day-to-day functionality? Taking back what we had learned was also really important because it allowed us to start design and build things that were going to be far more globally useful. One of the things that we always say is it doesn't matter what you build your product to do, a customer is going to find some way to use it that you totally never in a million years expected. You have to pay attention to these things, and you've got to be aware that whatever it is you do today, something different is going to happen tomorrow.
And here to introduce Heather to us is her IBM friend and colleague, Rhonda Childress, who herself is also a Witte Hall of Fame honoree.
Hopefully I won't screw this up. I am very honored to introduce to you all Dr. Heather Hinton. When Peggy sent me the note saying that Heather had been selected, it was Dear Dr. Hinton, and I was like, huh? And I had to stop and think and remember that Heather has a PhD in computer security from Canada. But you wouldn't know it when you talk and deal with Heather. It's just the way she is, the way she talks, and the way she acts, and the way she treats everybody that way. And so what you have to remember about Heather, she has this innate history of problem solving that she does. She seeks out those little problems and she works with them. But not only that, but she can show other people how to do this. Sometimes it's very difficult when people say, is that an art or is that a science? And it's a combination of both. But Heather has somehow figured out how to help lead people to understand problem solving and those kinds of things. And as you saw, when she talked about single sign-on, now how many understand single sign-on at all? Oh, good. How many of you have ever gone to a website and you've seen that login with Facebook symbol? We have Heather to thank for that, believe it or not. More than likely, they're using the technology that she patented for federated identity management. And it's one of those things that you look at and you go, so simple, yet so hard, when you look at some of these things that she's done in her career with IBM. And you also look at it, she's a single mom. She has 2 children, one hopefully on their way back to Austin. There was a Dallas situation yesterday, so one of them got stuck here. And her daughter is with, where's she at? Her daughter is here with her. So our future generation came with us today. So she has done a lot. She's also does a lot of big give back to the community, the high schools in the area, a lot of STEM activities that she does. And on top of all of this, she has, I want to make sure I did this, 158 issued patents. So stop and think about that. That's 158 times she has gone for the U.S. Patent Office or other countries and had a patent issue. So those are all not just U.S. patents. Those are foreign patents and other things. So it is my distinct pleasure and honor to introduce to you all Dr. Heather Hinton.
Don't hurt somebody. This isn't unlike the Oscars, this isn't a surprise, but I'm still sort of at a loss of what to say. As Rhonda said, I've problem solved all of my life. That's just one of the things that I love. But I have been beyond fortunate that I have always been in an environment where I've had really supportive team members, managers, bosses, people down the corridor, people that have helped me in ways that I probably will never, ever know. And obviously they're not all here, but I thank them, and my hope and my wish for all of you that are here at Witte is that you can recognize when other people are giving you that hidden push and that hidden help, but that you can do that for others. Your mission really needs to be to help other women of all ages, other men, just help the community learn how to adopt technology, make technology usable, make the world a better place. If we can all do that, boy, have we got a great, great ride ahead of us. Thank you.
More than halfway through, y'all still awake? Yeah, inspiring. Our next honoree is Sara Rushinek. Sara is a professor of business technology and health informatics at the University of Miami Business School. She specializes in expert and artificial intelligence systems, big data analytics, cutting-edge hybrid collaborative tools and techniques, SEO app development, there's more, computer litigation support, health informatics, cybersecurity, blockchain applications, and automated algorithmic trading systems. Whew. Let's watch this video to learn more about Sara.
I'm Dr. Sara Rushinek. I'm a professor of business technology and health informatics, and also am a professor in the School of Medicine in health informatics and what we call translation research, which is bringing medical products to market. I am also on the board of Women in Technology.
It's very interesting because Dr. Rushnick has this way about her that she's very authentic, she's very approachable, she's not in the ivory tower. But I think for all people, she thinks if you have something to give that you should share. And I think she had that passion and that desire for science and technology, and so she didn't let any taboos at the time hold her back. So she was very brave, I'm sure.
She has a way of opening up all different people to converse with her and to listen and to kind of brainstorm and partner with her. What I see you doing is really just saying, hey, we have this problem, how do we fix it?
Constant learning, whether it's going to seminars, going to conferences, reading all the time, trying out different hardware, software, and also in blending, I also work with a number of companies, whether they be large Fortune 500 companies or startups. I'm learning from them as well.
You always look at technology and then how to apply it to business, and you're always looking at the customer, the consumer, the constituents, how to save money, how to grow their business. So it's like you're looking at the full strategy versus some people just look at technology.
Definitely one of the classes I enjoy to participate in the most. I'm not really a person that likes to participate, but I actually do in her class.
I'm curious all the time to find out from people what are their challenges and how technology can help them. And not use technology for technology's sake. So how are we going to get better outcomes? For instance, in healthcare, I don't want to use just technology for that technology's sake. I want to get better healthcare at the end. I want to get better outcomes at the end. If that can get me there, let's do it. If that can't get me there, I just don't want to use a technology. And there's still an idea that what humans can do the best, and use that to our advantage of having that interaction with humans. So that's what's the key here.
Here to introduce Sara Rushnick is Jody Westgate, Sara's colleague at the University of Miami.
Hi everyone, my name is Jody Westgate. It's an honor and a pleasure to introduce Dr. Rushnick to all of you. Actually, we don't work together. It's kind of interesting. I've met her a year ago at a conference when I was working for HP. And we connected, and I've learned so much from her within this first year. What she was doing at the time was she was hosting a panel as a moderator. A bunch of women on the front stage talking about how do we retain, how do we recruit, how do we educate, and how do we excite women about joining the technology field. And the audience was senior executives, senior VPs, people that would actually be hiring all of us in this room. And she got them engaged. Half the room was men, half the room was, women. They were a team, and she said, look, we have to make the best and use all of our brains, everybody. We have to encourage growth and development from anybody in society. What's the best practice we have? Tell us, share with us, what's your challenges? What are you doing well? And I watched her turn a group of people that could be kind of a tense situation for some people because, women are saying, let us in. But she made it so the men felt so comfortable and could relate that they had daughters, they had wives, they had women in their lives, that they wanted to find a way to help us. And that left me with, I have to go meet this woman. So I went up and met her, and since then, she's mentored me the whole entire time. I mean, I've interviewed for another job, I've been, working on different things, and she's been a full mentor. And I watch her with everybody, whether it's students, whether it's people in business, and she's always got a caring, helping way to encourage us to work together. And I guess one of the things I found interesting was I worked for HP, and one of my friends, he mentioned, oh, you know Dr. Rushnick? I said, yeah, she's great, isn't she? She's funny, and oh, she was my favorite professor. And I asked him why. Because she taught me a skill in school that I could use. And when I went to HP, I could navigate Excel better than anybody in the organization. And he said, oh, we're doing pivot tables and this and that. And everybody came to him as a subject matter expert. So I'd like to say thank you for her mentoring and for her kindness and for her sense of humor. She's an amazing individual, and it's my pleasure to introduce you, Dr. Rushnick, to the Witte Hall of Fame.
I'm not big on awards, but this is really, really, really nice. And I want to first thank Jody. She is really a go-getter and she's a doer. And throughout this process, it's been a pleasure. I also want to thank Patricia Monica Hodea, who nominated me for this award, and I appreciate their efforts in encouraging me on this. And I must say, I'm excited to be with a group of such amazing women, aren't they? It was just, to me, an honor, and we've just bonded even on our short time. I even told them, January in Miami sounds great. See, they're cheering. So all of them, Microsoft needs to have you fly out from Washington, and John Hopkins in that cold winter, right? Got to come down. So I'm just so honored. And one of the things that I want to instill in you is this technology is so wide open. You think about, I've seen basically the process of technology throughout its ages. And what it is it's such opportunities for this world to be great. Think about the idea of the level playing field. Think of even of your cell phones, that when we think of throughout the world, everybody has cell phones, that we really can start basically being a team and collaborating together. And that's what I love to do, is basically that idea of collaboration among basically the entire world to solve problems. And I have a unique opportunity to be in education, to guide my students, and of course, I'm guiding all the time women, just because a lot of time women are afraid. It's sort of like, tech isn't for me. And I said, what do you mean tech isn't for you? What are you into? I'm into marketing. I say, marketing? You don't think that tech is influencing marketing? Think about the digital transformation. Think about, I'm into law, I'm going to study law. Well, what do you think law is going to be? Now law is basically a lot of the robots, a lot of the basically algorithms are going to be taking over law. Where are you going to be? And think about, in this case, finance, our whole sector of fintech. Basically, all of our people now, we're going to have to basically, and medicine. Notice that I'm also part of health informatics. When you think about health informatics, you say, wait, hold on, I'm going to have an expert system. How many people Google all their symptoms? I'm a hypochondriac, right? I got this rash here. What do I have here? Right? And then I take a picture of it, right? Send it to my dermatologist. My dermatologist, you know what he does? At the end of the day, he schedules me because he knows that we're going to talk about technology and we're going to talk about the dermatologist, what he should be doing in his practice. So one of the things I also have an opportunity is also to be with business. Basically, I consult with a number of businesses, and with the businesses, basically, I'm able to see what are the new trends, and also where can then basically our students be educated. And along with that process of education, we can see where we're going to go for our next steps. So I really do appreciate it, and what I do want to emphasize is in this realm of where we're living today is there has to be continuous learning. Basically, in micro steps, you cannot be here and just sit and say, okay, I'm finished. One of the things is it's going to be continuous learning. I'm learning all the time. This mentor-mentee, we were talking about it before, mentoring is not, basically, it's two-sided. So I urge all of us, and it doesn't even need to be women or men or any type of diversity we have, is there has to be a continuous way. And you can tell I'm a professor. I can be a whole hour here with you. So they're going to be pulling me off the stage. So in this case, I want to thank you very much. Carolyn, I've spoken to you on the phone. We kind of just click right away, and I thank you. She is a pioneer. Can we all give a round of applause to Carolyn? I was just amazed by really of starting this organization, really when they said women in tech. Now it's like a common word. Everybody throws that out, but you were really a pioneer, and I thank you very much, and thank you. Oh, I have to get a picture now.
I feel energized after that. All right, so let's just take a quick moment to mention that today's 24th Annual Hall of Fame Awards Luncheon is also a fundraising event for the Women in Technology International Foundation, which is a nonprofit corporation. I think that's absolutely wonderful, by the way, because the Witte Foundation donates all after-tax profits to programs that encourage young women to choose careers in science and technology. Isn't that great? Let's give that a quick hand. Now, you see, Witte is not only about celebrating innovators, but it is also actively committed to paving the way for future leaders. So we really encourage you to support organizations like Witte because it's essential to our global future again and again. You all help make this possible. All right, so our next nominee, or honoree, is Blanca Trevino, who co-founded Softtek in 1982 with a small group of entrepreneurial-minded students. Under her leadership, the company has since grown to more than 12,000 employees with 30 offices in Latin America, Europe, Asia, and the US. Throughout her career at Softtek, Blanca has gained international recognition as a promoter of the IT services industry. Let's watch this video to learn more about Blanca Trevino.
I'm Blanca Trevino. I'm the president and CEO of Softtek. I'm the very proud mom of 2 daughters and grandmom of 2 granddaughters. We have evolved in a certain way as a company. Starting as an entrepreneur and now being a very mature company, a global company with presence in so many different countries, with thousands of people being part of Softtek, we have evolved. We are more mature nonetheless young enough, not mature, but still with this culture that makes us to be so different. I don't believe in quotas. I believe in the talent that each one of us, regardless of gender, can put on the table. There's always going to be a question if you're there because of the quota instead of your being there because of the value that you can bring, or you're there because of your experience or your talent. I said, computer science sounds sexy, so I'm going to do that. But in the next week, I got probably, I wouldn't say concerned or afraid, but it was more, I'm not so sure that I'm going to like this field. So I went back to the university and I changed and I said, no, I'm going to be in marketing. And I went back home and my dad was in the dining room with his brother. And again, he was bragging about his daughter getting into computer science. And when my uncle left, I said, Dad, I have to talk to you. Because at the end, I decided not to get into computers. And he asked me, why? Why you changed your mind? And I used the wrong word. I said, I don't know, I'm scared that I will not be able to do XYZ, whatever. But my mistake, my huge, or probably the best thing that I have done in my life is that I told him scared, because he was so mad. And he said, I could live with the idea of having a daughter that was not smart, that was probably, or that she loved other things. But I would never, ever accept that I have a daughter that could be afraid of something. That is not something that is going to happen in my house, in my family. In Mexico, there were not many entrepreneurs. There were none, probably. Technology from Mexico, forget it, no way. So when we start saying that we're going to build a global company, I truly believe that it became a commitment. You can make the commitment, you can try to do whatever you offer, but if you are not truly passionate about that, it's going to be very tough. Again, taking risk and not being afraid. Conscious of your responsibilities, absolutely conscious, but not afraid, never afraid.
When people think of Mexico, they often think of 3 T's: tacos, tequila, and tourism. But there's a 4th T, technology. Today I have the privilege of introducing a woman who has played a fundamental role in launching this wave and putting Mexico on the map as a hub for IT services. Blanca Trevino started her career when the value of a woman's work was vastly underappreciated. In fact, her first employer prohibited married women from working. But Blanca had a different vision of a diverse team building a Mexican IT firm that can compete with the world's best. Today, that company, that began with just a few young entrepreneurs out of Monterrey, Mexico, spans 20 countries, employs 12,000 professionals, and represents the largest provider of IT services from Latin America. Blanca, alongside her executive team, was responsible for mainstreaming the term and the business model nearshore in the late 1990s as a competitive advantage over offshore outsourcing from the large Indian vendors. Her progressive strides have gained the attention of analysts, media, and the business world, but her fan base largely resides inside Softtek's offices. Blanca has a unique ability to connect one-on-one with people from different backgrounds. Her enthusiasm is not only inspiring, but extremely contagious. This, to me, is a true testament of leadership. A leadership that's been recognized by the influential Mexican Business Council, which elected Blanca as the first woman to join the group, which imposed the need to change the name from its previous denomination, the Mexican Council of Business Men. Blanca's ideology, perseverance, and passion have led both her and Softtek, to many firsts. And today, it's my pleasure to help congratulate Blanca, the coolest abuelita, grandmother, that I know, as the first woman from Mexico to be inducted into the Witte Hall of Fame, Blanca Trevino.
Well, this is quite a stage, and thank you so much for that warm introduction, and that you also mentioned my granddaughters, because that's one of the things that I feel proudest about. And I really felt so good when we got into the room. It was like the Oscars. Well, the Oscars is different, but this was great. And let me tell you that when they invited me, and I look at all the previous honorees, and this for amazing woman, I was really, really concerned. I was afraid that Caroline was going to ask for the award back, because she was going to say, she's not an inventor, she's not an engineer, she's not a scientist. So why are we inviting Blanca to join this? So thank you so much for giving me this opportunity and giving Mexico also this visibility. But it is an honor, but it is also overwhelming hearing all the achievements, a professor, a PhD, an engineer, everything, and all this woman here, believe me, it is not easy to give an acceptance speech in less than 2 minutes. So that, there are so many things that you want to say, right? When in front of women, but we all want to talk so much that I'm going to respect those 2 minutes. And I have to make a confession. I always feel uncomfortable about awards, because I have enjoyed so much my life that it's difficult to accept or to feel at ease to receive recognition for something that you have enjoyed. And I have enjoyed being a woman in tech. It has not been necessarily easy all these years, but I think it was worth it. When I go to India or to China, to Mexico, and see that out of those 12,000 people that are part of Softtek, probably 45% are women, I feel so good, because it's completely their story is different. Their story, it's so different. When I joined the first company more than 30 years ago, they did ask for my resignation. When you joined the company, you were supposed to sign your resignation, because you were not supposed to work if you were married. And it was 35 years ago. It was not so long ago. So today, visiting all the offices that we have, and in every office, looking at those women that are today working in tech and inspiring other people, it's always something that fills my heart. And also having the opportunity to work with girls, talented girls, and trying to convince them that this can be sexy. That's what I thought 35 years ago. And it's not sexy, but it's fun. It can be sexy. Look at my other colleagues and the other honorees here. And so it is being here today, it's something that it's showing other women that it is possible. So thank you, Caroline, for giving this visibility to all these women in tech and all the others that are not here and all the other honorees. You are doing amazing. If it's 25 years, you're going to be here for more. And I hope that someone else is going to take and keep on doing this, because it's incredible, giving this visibility and inspiring other people. It's easy when we see you. When we see you, it seems so much easier. So thank you so much. Thank you for this. And again, I don't know if you're going to ask for the award back. I'm not an inventor. I'm not an engineer. Even we couldn't watch the video that I probably it's because they noticed that there was nothing. Let me tell you this. My daughters, even though I'm the CEO of this tech company, they always complain, or probably they will always tell people they doubt my tech skills. They do. Every time that I get into Facebook, that I don't do very often, they have to help me. Well, I was with Julia and say, let's connect with LinkedIn, and I say, show it to me, because I'm not so sure. So. But what I'm really proud that I have been able to, in a way, create or build this tech company in which many women can really work, and hopefully we'll have many others. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Blanca, that was amazing. And the key part is that you have inspired so many women to continue on the path of technology. So thank you very much for all of that.
Woo. All right, we are at our final honoree today. Our final honoree is Dr. Natalia Trayanova. Natalia directs the Alliance for Cardiovascular Diagnostic and Treatment Innovation, as well as the Computational Cardiology Laboratory at Johns Hopkins University. She is the primary innovator and trailblazer in the use of modern computation and modeling approaches in cardiac arrhythmia research and in the diagnosis and treatment of patients with heart rhythm disorders. Through her personalized virtual hearts, she is pioneering advances in personalized medicine for patients with cardiovascular disease. Whew.
Heart work.
Wow, yes, the real heart work. Let's see more about Natalia Trayanova.
Natalia's work represents a new approach to medicine, using quantitative analysis and modeling to enhance diagnosis and treatment.
In my research, we generate virtual twins of the patient's hearts. These are digital replicas that are generated using the patient's MRI or other scans. We take the scans, and the scans reflect not only the geometry of the heart, but also any other structural change that underlies the disease in this heart. Computer simulations have rarely been used in medicine. In medicine, we have a different approach. It's called trial and error. In my lab, and my collaborators want to change that. We want to bring computer simulation to the clinical practice. This way, we can elicit responses that can tell us what is wrong with this heart. So when the patient has the procedure in the clinic, the doctors can directly execute the plan that we proposed that fits this patient best.
I've found that her lab is unique in that we're able to really bring what we do in the lab directly to the bedside. And I think that is really gratifying. I've had multiple bioethics discussions with my lab mates, and because we realize just how important the work we're doing is, and also just how much of a profound impact it can have on patient lives. And I think that kind of mix of the science as well as the clinical aspects really is what makes our lab truly unique.
We are very excited about bringing our technology of virtual hearts in the clinic, and we recently got approval by the FDA for 2 clinical studies. This is very exciting because it's the first time that the FDA has approved a study in which the treatment of patient is driven by computer simulations.
One thing that I've learned from Natalia that's definitely going to have a lasting impact on my career is how to get things done. When she has an idea, whether it's bringing her virtual heart models to the clinic or forming the new advanced center, she does it. She doesn't take no for an answer, and I think I've become a lot more confident in doing that on my own.
I had in my lab a wall of shame in which we will put all the rejections. This is a great mentor. Rejection is a great mentor because you learn how to move forward despite the gut punch that you receive when you have a rejection. And it's particularly important for girls. You have to stand up and move, and you have to believe in what you're doing, because one day you will show the world that you were right.
Here to introduce Natalia is her former PhD candidate, Kelly Chang, now a data scientist at Facebook.
Hi, everyone. It is my great pleasure to introduce Natalia to you today. Natalia has been my friend and mentor for the last 10 years, and I can think of no person more deserving of this honor. As a scientist, she is at the forefront of her field, developing state-of-the-art computational models of the heart. She has received numerous awards and distinctions for her scientific achievements, including the Fulbright, Distinguished Scholars Research Award, the Murray B. Sachs Endowed Chair, and the NIH Director's Pioneer Award, to name just a few. As an innovator, Natalia is a true visionary. Beginning her career at a time when mathematical models of the heart were just highly theoretical exercises on the nature of single cells, she now leads organizations that are making the dream of personalized medicine a reality. And this is using the virtual patient-specific heart models that she pioneered. She founded a startup that aims to improve the treatment of arrhythmias, and just last year, she began a multidisciplinary endeavor as co-director of Advance, a collaborative effort between engineers and clinicians to advance the diagnosis and treatment of heart disorders. But above all, most importantly, Natalia has been a true friend and inspiration to those she mentored along the way. In her lab, she has created a second family for her students, one that she has opened her home to, and one that shares laughter, fond memories, and supports each other in the most difficult of times. This was never more evident than when her lab at Tulane University was displaced by Hurricane Katrina. Homeless and with the future uncertain, she stood by every one of her students and made sure that each of them found a safe place to land at their eventual new home at Johns Hopkins. And she has served as a role model and friend to me, showing me the value of hard work, perseverance, and fearlessness, demonstrating excellence through example and knowing just the right way to draw it out of all of us. Thank you, Natalia, for your mentorship, for your guidance, and for everything you've done. Please join me in congratulating Dr. Natalia Trayanova on this special occasion.
I'm going to put it here, next to me. Thank you, Dr. Cheng. Thank you, my dear Kelly. This was so amazing. I was blushing all the time. I want to say I am truly honored and also very excited to be standing here today, accepting this recognition, being inducted in the Women in Technology Hall of Fame. Again, as Sara said, I am totally humbled by these amazing women who are made major contributions to science and technologies, who are leaders in their field, and most importantly, I believe this is happening. They are shaping the new generation of women pioneers and leaders in science and technology. I am really grateful to Women in Technology International for bestowing this award on me. As a professor of engineering at Johns Hopkins, I have always strived to be a role model to female scientists, engineers, trainees. But being inducted in this Hall of Fame tremendously sharpens this responsibility. I salute Witte for the effort for making it possible to empower women to pursue, to advance careers in science and technology, to be leaders, and for inspiring us to come together to make a more inclusive, gender equal, and ultimately just and productive world. And I'm very proud to be part of it right now. I want to acknowledge two groups of people who have been particularly important in my career. The first is all my trainees. As a professor, you see a lot of trainees, and I've had a lot of members in my lab, and Dr. Chang has been one of them. It is I have had an amazing privilege to work with an uncommonly gifted group of people. These people have contributed tremendously to my career. They have pushed me every day along the way. They have enlarged my horizon of scientific discovery. And on top of that, they have made every day so joyous and bright. So they all have a very special place in my heart. The other group of people that I want to acknowledge is all my collaborators throughout the years of my career. There is no way in science, which is very big, to make a contribution by yourself. Team of one does not work. You always have to have a collaborative structure to lean on. So I want to acknowledge all these people who have worked with me throughout the years, but most importantly,
the clinical collaborators. I'm an engineer and a computational scientist, and I have a group of clinicians who have actually accepted the fact that I can come up with a way to treat their patients, and they have embraced the synergy between engineering and medicine and seeing the future, that the future of medicine can be engineered. And I really, really am very grateful to these people. So thank you very much for giving me this honor. It is really a special honor, and I really will cherish being part of this organization very much. Thank you again.